Okay then guys, so today myself and Lee from Bleeped Up are going to be discussing Wings of Glory. Okay, so this is a World War One flight simulated miniatures game.
When you say it like that, it does sound like, you know, when you first bought your PC and you went, oh, what games have you got? Yeah, I've got Flight Simulator.
Yeah.
And it wasn't exactly a thing.
But do you know, there is actually a Wings of Glory PC game.
Is there?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
From about 1995. I watched a YouTube video of it yesterday, and man, is it pixelated.
Oh, it's not aged well.
Yeah, not aged well at all, in fact. I even looked to download it and decided not to after about 4 seconds.
I was going to say, it was like you got everyone in the store playing this game, and then everyone's like, buy the video game. It's just exactly like that.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so we're going to discuss this game. It's been out now for around about 6 years. So it's been around a little while, but really great. We've got, within 2 weeks of demoing, we've got 20 guys in store playing it. Literally everyone who plays it is picking planes up and just throwing it down. Yep. Entry level wise, cost wise, you're looking at about £30-ish or £25 to £30, depending on where you go for the core set. One thing to bear in mind, you don't get any planes in this, okay? This is just the rules and accessories pack. You need to buy your planes. Now you can do that one of two ways. There are dual packs. There are 2 dual packs out currently. One has got a DR1 and a Sopwith Camel, which Lee finds hilarious.
That's the weirdest name for a plane ever created.
A flying camel.
A flying camel.
So in the next video we're going to be doing a duel between those two. So I'll be playing as the DR1, the Red Baron, and
I'll be the camel.
and Lee here is going to be the Canadian Camel because it's flown by a Canadian pilot. So
gotta love it.
we're going to do that. The other one is an Albatross and a Spad, so they're dual packs. Other than that, there are 140 there or thereabouts World War One fighters in the range. Basically ranging from single seaters to 2-seaters, up to big sort of 6 sort of crew bombers, which literally are
massive, ridiculously.
So yay big. Put that in perspective. That is the size of a Sopwith Camel. So that in comparison to a bomber, bombers are literally out here. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is, first thing in this one is we're going to just discuss the basic concepts of the game. Basically, when you start, each plane has a pilot console. Okay, 2 sides to it. In the core set of the rules accessories, you get 4 of these. Okay, but obviously you can always photocopy them and cut them out. So effectively, the main one is this, and basically how it works is you take the card for your plane, okay, and you pop it here in the plane section. All right. So this card here gives you all the information you need about your plane. Then you have your damage here and your damage at +1, which I'll tell you about in a moment. Underneath that, you then place your movement cards. Each plane has a different movement deck, a bit like in X-Wing where you have the dials. In this, you have a deck of cards. You play 3 in a row. So unlike in X-Wing and Star Trek Attack Wing, where you only decide 1 move, this one you have to plan 3 ahead, which really sort of intensifies the dogfights. So that's that bit there. Okay, the card, as we mentioned. Okay, you've got a picture of the plane on there, you've got the name of the plane and any named pilot. Okay, if you're going to play the ace rule, so you can play ace versus ace, or you just play as the plane. Okay, down here we have a letter that relates to its movement deck. So in the case of the Sopwith Camel, it's movement deck C. So basically, if you lose your cards or you get them mixed up, you need to just separate all the C's. You then have the red one, which is the shooting deck. So in this case, this one is using A deck for damage. And then the green one tells you how long the plane lives. It can take 15 points of damage before it effectively falls from the sky, normally in a cataclysmic sort of smoking on flame wreck landing on the floor. On the actual plane itself, okay, to a degree the plane is obviously aesthetically lovely, however has no real relevance to the game because you are actually using a template, okay,
exactly
which happens to be exactly the same as your card. Okay, so effectively it's the same size, it's got all the same data on it, it has also got the same fire arcs on it and everything. Okay, so basically in the original version the planes were just the cards because the rules came out before the planes did. Okay, so you can play like that, and you will need these cards, obviously at a later point, as will come show. Alright, so effectively, that's that bit there. Okay, we talked about the movement deck. Okay, so we have movement deck. This is the C deck, so you've got quite a lot of movement options. Okay, so there's your options there. And what we do, we decide which moves we're going to play. And then when we put the card down, there is a line at one end, arrow at the other. You put your movement card down that you've elected. Just put this plane back on here. You place the long blue line next to the blue line on the template, and then you just move the plane and put the arrow over the arrow, and then you remove your card, and that is how your plane moves along. Okay, obviously same with bends, etc. What you'll see in the actual deck there are mainly blue, however there's always two red cards. Okay, there's a long red and a shorter red. The shorter red is the climb card. Okay, now the climb card, you basically, each plane has its ability to climb elevation, and that one is the dive. Okay, so we're currently flying at height 2, we've got 2 pegs. Okay, if we used the dive, okay, we would simply remove the plane, remove a peg, okay, and we're now at height level 1. Okay, this plane here, being the sort of camel, can go up to about height 15. Okay, so at the end of the day, you just keep applying pegs or using a counter to mark your elevation. That will become relevant later as well. Okay, so when we're dishing damage out, we need to basically see what this plane does shooting wise.
Yes.
So when we're playing, we have a range ruler, same as in a lot of games. Okay, don't use a tape measure, it's all based on card, no dice, no tape measure. Okay, so basically you need a range ruler. Short range is in the first half of the template. Okay, if you're within short range of an opposing plane, you place the marker at the stem, which is important. Okay, and if any part of the acrylic base of the enemy fighter is within short range, you dish out 2 damage cards. If it's in the longer length, i.e. long range, you dish out 1 damage card of the specific deck. So there's 4 decks in total, there's A, B, C and D. This plane is dishing out A damage. Okay, so in order to dish out damage, you shuffle the cards. Okay, place them on the deck, and you basically take a card and apply whatever damage it has on it to your opponent. Now again, another thing with this game is the damage is kept secret. So if I've done this damage to Lee, I wouldn't know what damage I've done. Yeah. Okay, Lee keeps a note and places it on his console face down here. Okay, right, so in the case of the Sopwith, it can take 15 points of damage, so it's taken 1 point of damage from that shot. As such, it's got 14 left. Okay, and that is how you play. Alright, now, there are some special cards, which obviously I've taken out the deck, and I will go through. Okay, so, in addition to that, obviously you can have, with this, to represent the fact that you're not using dice, there are zeros in the deck. And in the A deck it goes up to a 5 maximum, so you can dish out 5 points of damage as maximum. However, there's quite a few zeros in there as well. Yep. So effectively we have a fairly randomised deck there. Okay. Now, when you're shooting, other stuff can happen. Okay, and this is quite important to the game and really adds again that element of luck to it, which balances it out massively. So it really is a game where there is no plane that can't be taken down by anybody else. Yeah. Because for a start, in every single deck there is at least one of those. Okay, Lee's favourite. Okay, yep. So that is the insta kill. Yep. All right, basically you have done cataclysmic damage to the enemy plane, and as such you've taken it out in a one shot. Okay, pretty much. And that literally involves the plane exploding into millions of pieces of balsa wood and yep. paper and falling from the sky and crashing spectacularly.
You immediately are out. I think I played 3 games this past weekend, and I think it was turn 2 or turn 3 out of 2 of the 3 games I was insta-killed. So I was just cheering my pilots on from the sidelines, because it's just pot luck, obviously, from the deck. So
Yeah.
some games can end really quickly, and some games can really last a very long
Obviously,
time.
this card is optional. You can remove it from the deck if you don't want the insta-kill. So, obviously, for tournament play, it tends to be in the deck. However, obviously, if you're just doing demos, we always take this out for the demos. Nothing worse than doing a demo
And then you
the
die instantly.
little Johnny dies in the first shot of the game and demo's over because he's dead and burning. Okay, so going on to burning, we have the planer's caught on fire. Okay, so that's really quite bad. Okay, not only does it do damage, in this case 2 points of damage, you also place 3 fire tokens behind the plane or on your console, either or. Okay, now, what that basically means is you've taken damage, you're on fire. Oh no, what are you going to do? So, fire is going to get basically taken, it's going to sort of sort itself out, it's going to basically blow out, you're going to sort it while you're flying the plane, you've got your little sort of bucket of water in there with you, and as such you're trying to do everything you can to put this fire out, okay? So, how it works is that you've got your 3 fire tokens. Every time for the next 3 phases, okay, so the next 3 here, so if you've taken it there, it'll be this one, and the next turn here, you basically remove a token, and you take a damage from the deck. Okay, so this is the effect the fire is causing. Now, because it's a fire, you ignore any special rules, you just take the damage. So again, Lee would have taken 2 for the fire, 1 for the previous shot, 1 there. He's now lost 4 points of damage, he's down to 11. Okay.
So it's pretty much every time after you've moved, you then remove a token. Correct?
Exactly. So you basically take the card away, you take the token away. However, there's 2 more turns, okay, of fire damage. Now, the other thing that fire does, it causes smoke, okay? So, the only bit on the plane that actually had any fuel in it in order to effectively create a fire is the engine. So, when you are on fire, you cannot basically action a straight move. Okay, now if you've already got them in your deck, that's fine, okay, because you complete that turn. However, if you still have fire damage going into the next turn, i.e. the next phase of 3 cards, you cannot do any straight maneuvers, as you are basically trying to see where you're going, and all the smoke and stuff is all bellowing out of your engine. Okay, the other thing you can't do is tail the enemy. Okay, so basically where you're in behind them, you've got smoke bellowing out, you need to basically be looking at the plane in front. You can't see where you're going because the smoke's in front of you, as such you can't tail. So fire is pretty much, you know, you're in trouble because you're just going to keep picking up damage for 3 phases. Okay. Now there is another card which is smoke. So in this case, this one is 4 damage. And it's got the smoke marker on it. So it's basically the same as fire. It lasts for 3 turns. However, it doesn't do any continued damage. Okay, but it stops you from tailing. Okay. So again, you use the smoke markers, or you can buy third-party acrylics, which look really cool, or
cotton
wool. Yeah, cotton
yeah.
wool with a dusting of chaos black. Looks brilliant. Okay. The next ones are the rudder damage. Okay, so you have a left and right rudder. And as such, you can take rudder damage. So again, if you take this card here, either of them, one's left, one's right, in your next run of 3 cards that you deploy, you cannot turn the direction that is marked on here. Again, you don't disclose this to your opponent. Only smoke and fire you disclose. Okay. So as such, if I'd taken this damage, Lee wouldn't necessarily know that I can't turn left. Okay. However, obviously, I have to play 3 cards without a left turn. Okay. Once that's done, I've fixed my rudders, and I'm back to normal other than taking the initial damage. Okay. The next one we have is pilot wounded. Okay, so if we get this one, what this means is it takes us longer to repair our rudder by an extra phase. Okay, or unjam our guns, which we haven't come on to yet. But also, if I'm wounded a second time, then that kills me. Pilot is dead. Plane effectively is going to fall from the sky. It's out of the game. Okay, so you've got wounded. This marker here is engine failure. So every single turn for the rest of the game, you have to do at least 1 stall maneuver, which is this one, which is a really small, short move, and you have to do one in every 3 card phase. Okay. Equally, if you take a second engine damage, your plane's engine has stopped. That means your propeller's stopped. That means you are nose heavy. You are going to fall from the sky. Okay, and as such, again, out of the game. All right, so loads of ways to get out of the game.
Yeah.
Then we have gun jam. Okay, so effectively this one here, this one's quite a cool one because they do come in green and red. Now, so if you see us later on in the next video with red ones or green ones, they are both the same. They just affect ace skills later on if you're playing a campaign or something like that. So effectively it's gun jam. So this is the one that you disclose to your opponent, all right? Because basically, if Lee has given me this card, I don't want him to know I've taken 0 damage. All right, so I place my hand over there, and I basically show Lee the card. Now Lee's guns have jammed. So when he fired at me, basically his guns have jammed.
Yep.
All right. So he places 3 jam markers, which basically are these ones here, okay, next to his console. Again, after each card is played, one of those is removed, but he cannot fire in each of those phases. Okay, so that's basically that. If he was wounded, remember from earlier, it would take him 4 phases. Alright, so basically that is how to play. So, if you want to look in the description below, there'll be a blue hyperlink, okay, which will take you to the next video, which is going to be the one-on-one dogfight between the Sopwith
Camel,
the
Canadian camel,
and the DR1, famously flown by the Red Baron, i.e. me. So my plane is a little bit weaker than the Sopwith Camel because I don't have the hump. However, I am much more mobile. Okay, so what we're going to do in the demo, we're not going to play advanced rules, we're just going to play the basic rules. So we're going to keep elevation out of it, we're going to keep that the same. Okay, but we're going to basically show you guys a dogfight. Hopefully it will last a little while, so I'm going to take the insta-kill out, otherwise obviously
thank you. Much appreciated.
You know, Lee won't last more than 1 turn.
Exactly.
Okay,
that's exactly.
However, you will be able to watch the video whilst stirring a cup of tea.
Exactly.
So we're going to basically just do that. So obviously the rules, etc., are all available through blackdragonminiatures.com, and obviously all the planes. Also, for those that are interested, it's not just World War One. We're not going to do the World War Two today. However, World War Two is proper brutal.
It is. It's very dangerous.
You've got much faster planes. You've much better firepower. And more importantly, more firepower. So literally, stuff just dies.
It dies in a ball of flame. I think one game I saw over the weekend it lasted 10 minutes. It went really, really quick. Everyone got in range and then literally was in bits and pieces. It was really quick.
It was a good old bash up, that one. But again, World War One, small engagements, 2 or 3 planes aside, perfect for it. World War Two, due to the nature, many more planes were involved in those sort of games. But you also have other little sort of things like you can buy the Lancaster and actually do the bombing run with the bouncing bomb on the dam, which is quite cool because you've got to guess and get it right. Otherwise, your bomb either goes over the dam and literally has the non-desired effect, or equally falls short and goes bang in the water. So, so again, and you know, it's a lovely game. So basically, check us out on the web. Thanks to Lee for sitting with me on this one, and now I'm going to school him in how to play Wings of Glory.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.